Yeah, I can't wait for that. Will you be watching that Christmas Day?
It's actually New Year's Day, I think. Yes, I will actually. I think I'll tune in to a bit of Christmas Doctor Who.
Why is it on New Year's Day?
I don't know, they've downgraded it.
Nerderotic.com.
Doctor Who and the BBC are on the brink of collapse, which might be the title of this video, and I'm sure one has something to do with the other. Of course, the BBC has a lot of other problems outside of Doctor Who, but we're going to focus on this particular show, and I'm going to show you two examples of giving your fandom a giant middle finger. Chris Chibnall's going to take his ball and go home, and he's going to make sure no one can ever play with that ball again, and maybe it's because he doesn't have any balls. I don't know. So what do you do next if you're the architect of the destruction of one of the most beloved shows of all time, destroying 56 plus years of canon, cratering the ratings, breaking the fandom? Well, I'll ask you in the audience, what do you think Chris Chibnall and the powers that be at the BBC do? Do they try to acknowledge their mistakes? Do they try to ingratiate themselves to the fandom? Collectively, try to win back as many fans as they possibly can with humility and empathy and grace? Or do they double and triple down and disrespect all previous doctors and remind you that their intention was to destroy Doctor Who from the start? Have you ever been limited by who you were before? What genius decided to post this on the Doctor Who Twitter account? What the hell kind of reaction did you expect? This was deliberately put there to troll. They tried to lessen the blow by adding Dr. Ruth, but we know what you're trying to do. There is no other way to read into this other than saying there was something wrong with the previous doctors, and the most specialist, bestest doctor there is the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker. What exactly is the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, who we will lovingly call Dr. Karen, limited by, aside from Chris Chibnall and his writing staff's horrific soap opera writing? I guess there's another way we can interpret this. If before means Series 11 and Series 12, I can see you being limited by the 2.4 Metacritic's audience score for Series 11, the 2.9 Metacritic audience score for Series 12, the 20% audience score for Rotten Tomatoes for Series 11, or the 16% audience score for Series 12. And let's not forget that Series 12 hit 0% at one time until Rotten Tomatoes came in and saved it. It's not like it's 2018 and 2019 anymore. All of the data backs those audience scores up. The ratings have hit rock bottom. You can't hide behind the Access media anymore. Aside from Radio Times, everybody has come around. Even the people who support this show for its political or editorial messaging realize it sucks, and you are just playing out a farce. And if you want to go ahead and do that, fine. I will be happy to chronicle your demise. And the farce continues with this article. Doctor Who boss says he planned the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker's timeless child twists from the start when taking over the show. When people were having opinions about the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, I thought, well, this is going to be interesting because we haven't even started yet, Chris Chibnall exclusively told us. Basically, we plan to destroy your show from the beginning. F you. The Timeless Children was a pretty massive Doctor Who finale back in March, a pretty massive disaster, not only being one of the lowest rated shows in modern Doctor Who history, it was one of the lowest rated shows in Doctor Who history, changing everything we thought we knew about the BBC, which is on the brink of collapse, sci-fi series, and the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker's Doctor, in a series of twists that revealed the Doctor's secret series of past lives and his central control in creating the Time Lords. Oh, is that what we're calling it now? The little dimensional baby participated in the creation of the Time Lords by getting killed over and over again. Gradually teased over the course of Whittaker's run as the 13th Doctor, it took a while for the Timeless Children's storyline to come to fruition. It was always the plan to do it in the second year, Doctor Who head writer and showrunner Chibi exclusively told Radio Times, revealing that the Timeless Child storyline was set from the moment he took over the series and was even included in its initial pitch to senior BBC figures Charlotte Moore and Piers Vanger. There are certainties in life, death, taxes, and you do not get to choose how you are remembered. You do not get to choose your legacy, and the names that will always be associated with the death of an almost 60-year-old franchise will be Charlotte Moore, Piers Vanger, Chris Chibnall, and the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, who we will lovingly call Dr. Karen. I knew it from the start, Chibnall said, and it was part of what I talked to Charlotte and Piers about, just opening up the mythology to more stories. No, destroying the mythology. If you want to open up a mythology to more stories, you create a new character or you use one of the brilliant female characters you already have and create a separate series. This was about taking away something. This was about destroying something and then being able to shame you for it later. In fact, Chibnall revealed the Timeless Child storyline was planned before the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker was even announced as the 13th Doctor. Again, this comes as news to absolutely no one. You set out to destroy the show. When people were having opinions about the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, I thought, well, this is going to be interesting because we haven't even started yet. Chibnall laughed. Who's laughing now, asshole? To see exactly how the Timeless Child continues, fans will have to be patient. Well, by the time we actually find out, it will be fan will have to be patient. Chibnall told us that we'll have to wait a little longer to see how it plays out, despite it being briefly touched on in the upcoming festive special. And overall, it sounds like the arc is only just beginning. But the destruction of Doctor Who is already over. Again, we're just playing out a farce at this point. I've made multiple videos about the ratings, and so have many others. Recently, Clownfish TV reported on a mass exodus from Facebook groups. They're bleeding fans. I will link that video in the description. Now, there's a reason the hashtag RIP Doctor Who is relevant to this very day, and not that we needed any more evidence to show how dead this television show is. Allow me to pile on with a little bit more. Recently, Fansided conducted a ranking of fandoms. This year's Fansided 250 has been revealed, but where does Doctor Who rank in the list of fandoms, and how does it compare to previous years? If you've been following Fansided, which most of you have not, every year Fansided lists its hottest and most talked about fandoms, covering a wide range of interests, including various sports, films, games, and of course, TV series. The Fansided 250 is a fascinating look at the most passionate and dedicated fandoms. Ranking. So where is Doctor Who in the Fansided 250 overall? It placed 201st. And that's not all. The Access media is turning on them as well with articles like this. Doctor Who fans think the show is now a waste of time and space. Ratings have consistently fallen throughout the Chibnall-Whittaker era of the show. Welcome to the party. Ratings have consistently fallen throughout the Chibnall-Whittaker era of the show, with upwards of 1 million people lost during last season's run. As we don't have a TARDIS of our own, we cannot predict the future of the show. But if it's going to continue into the long term, it is clear that something needs to be done. And we get this one buried in the former ally to the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, Screen Rant, in an article about the possible new Dalek origin we're going to get in the festive special, and it appears that's going to happen. And I don't know, it could be female Daleks, a female Davros. The one thing I did hear was the possibility of a baby Dalek or a Dalek giving birth. I don't really give a damn at this point, and that's not what we're here for. We're here for the final paragraph. Fans will have to wait and see when the holiday special, which brings back Captain Jack Harkness, airs this holiday season. I think we know from here on out it will not air on Christmas anymore. Hopefully, the new origins are more a case of an interesting new direction for Doctor Who, and not a case of desperately trying to reinvent the show's most recognizable villains for attention. If it is the latter, viewership figures for the shortened season 13 are likely to be even lower than they were for series 12, putting the long-term future of the show in serious doubt. And this is Screen Rant. And it goes from bad to worse when former companions and former doctors throw shade at your show.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. Will you be watching that Christmas Day?
It's actually New Year's Day, I think. Yes, I will actually. I think I'll tune in to a bit of Christmas Doctor Who.
Why is it on New Year's Day?
I don't know, they've downgraded it.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
This was supposed to be on Christmas, and it's not because the BBC didn't want to waste the time slot. From the Radio Times article, How the Doctor Who Festive Special Addresses the Timeless Child Twists. I'd say, of course, it's affected her, Whittaker exclusively told Radio Times. There was no, the Doctor has a lot of time to think in the Christmas special about a lot of things, at least at the beginning of the episode. And for the cherry on top, the actual network that Doctor Who is on is indeed facing collapse. When asked by the Express.co.uk whether the broadcaster could survive if the government scraps funding, Lord Young warned the BBC could face collapse. He said, "It would be a real challenge to survive. I know there are those that recommend it, but I don't think it is a good option to pit us against other subscription services." In a way, Doctor Who was a microcosm of the BBC. Both of them are not serving the entirety of their fandoms or the public, and both of them are paying the price. So while the BBC collapses around all the producers of this show, they're going to act like absolutely nothing is wrong and carry on with this farce and forge ahead with the shortened final season for Chris Chibnall and the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, who we will lovingly call Dr. Karen. That is a rumor I reported on earlier this year. You could check out the video right here. And out of the three major franchises I cover on this channel, Star Wars, Star Trek, and Doctor Who, at least Star Wars is trying to make it look like they are turning things around with the fandom. I'm not really sure they are, and that's a video for another day, but Doctor Who does not give a damn. They're going to go down in a blaze of glory and flip you the bird while they're doing it. And they're going to do it in the next holiday special. You bring back Captain Jack Harkness? Well, that's not bad. That's a pretty good idea. But then you immediately belittle him within a 1-minute trailer.
Because you seem to need a lot of praise.
And that's on top of them bringing back the worst character from the worst episode of the Chibnall era, which is saying something. Robertson, the Orange Man bad stand-in. Chris Chibnall has taken a beloved franchise of almost 60 years that was so popular, it was like printing pounds, and he's turned those pounds into toilet paper that people wouldn't even want to bother wiping their arse with. And he is going to be just fine. He's going to ride off into the sunset. So it comes as no surprise that the powers that be at the BBC and the clowns running Doctor Who decided to piss off the Doctor Who fandom within a 72-hour period by disrespecting all past doctors and reminding everyone that the Timeless Children was in Chibnall's plans from the very beginning, proving that no one had faith in the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, who we will lovingly call Dr. Karen. Instead of maybe writing a good doctor, they had to come up with a plot gimmick that destroyed the entire show. But I do have some good news. Doctor Who will not be ruining your Christmas this year. Now, I did hear a rumor that they were thinking about changing the TARDIS because of that awful word police on it, and we might have some video evidence. And as we go out, I will provide that for you. And it looks like the bestest doctor ever, the first female doctor played by Jodie Whittaker, who will be leaving after this season, did indeed fix the chameleon circuit. You be the judge. Ciao.
Great. Hi.
Nerderotic.com.
Thanks for watching or listening. If you like what I do, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking and sharing the videos. It really does help independent content creators. And if you could do that with your favorite YouTuber as well, I'm sure they would appreciate it as much as I do.